Good morning, traders. All right, welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. And risk disclaimer, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The goal of the webinar here is to introduce you to Bookmap and to define what it is, who uses it, how to connect it to the markets, how to subscribe, and then some of the other resources for further education that are free for you. That said, if you do subscribe, you do get advanced education. Okay, there's our educational course, as well as the advanced order flow webinars. Okay, the advanced order flow webinars, we really dig into the details. Those it follows the course that we have, so you guys can see it in the live markets and take advantage of it. All right. That said, today we give out the link to the live webinar, or the advanced webinar. Okay, so it's in the chat here for you. So you guys can click on that and register so you can see it today if you like. So you get a sneak peek into what our educational process is like. All right. So just to give you guys an example of some of the things, and you know, I made a tweet the other day regarding this. So we'll just click here. It's not to, you know, I mean, we, you know, kind of predicted this kind of result here. It's not about that. It's about the going through the order flow, understanding it really well, and our analysis here, because all of the information is here. And then we start to look at different scenarios. Okay, and then we start to anticipate price action based on what we're reading very objectively in the order flow. Okay, and this was one of them. So, for example, for it to price to get out of this zone here, it's going to need pretty big volume. Okay, so the follow through was we got it. We got the big volume here. You can see the big dots here. Okay, these dots here I drew in, it's just to show the pattern that we're looking for or anticipating. If we do see this, we're looking for further continuation to the upside. Okay, we're breaking out of this zone, and to break out of the zone, you need big volume. This is the kind of details that we go through in that advanced order flow webinar. All right. Okay, and you can follow us on Twitter as well for you know, getting insight to a lot of different things and resources. Okay, so covered the education part. You guys have the link to it. Let's jump in here and start to look at the website and define what Bookmap is. Alan, I see your question here. Can you please show the YM? I do not have the YM up. Yeah, I'll add it though, and we can take a look at it. All right. In fact, let me add it right now. Okay, so we have the YM now as well. Okay, we're going to be looking at the S&P unless there's something else you guys want to look at. Look, so for example, we'll get in and define all the different elements here on the Bookmap chart, but again, look at the same pattern here in the order flow. Okay, we just covered it in that Twitter, right? That Twitter image here. Okay, this is what we need, right, to lift up out of the zone. Here it is again. Okay, so again and again, we look for the same things. It's just how the market works. I mean, this is what's required to lift it up out of the zone and through this area of high liquidity here. Buyers are certainly in control right now. Okay, there's no question about it. Look at this flip of the book as well. They were here on the offer. It looks like they transacted. Now they're flipping and they're on the bid at this area here where we broke out from. This is how we accept above ranges like this. Okay, I'm getting really ahead of myself here. We need to go through all sorts of other things before we get into the order flow. But I just want to demonstrate, you know, what we're looking for and in the educational process here, understanding the order flow. All right. Okay, let's jump back into the website, define what Bookmap is. Okay, we are a software trading platform. We're not an indicator, and we're a platform just like anyone else. The advantage that we have is the way we visualize the market. It is unique, and that's where you can get an edge. Okay, just by that simple example of understanding breakout and the volume and where they're bidding and offering. Okay, that's very difficult to see on other trading platforms. All right, who's it for? Well, since you just saw that example, this can also work for swing traders, okay? It doesn't have to be for scalpers and day traders or quants. It works very well for all of them, okay? And in fact, I really like it for the longer term stuff. We can see over days accumulation by the larger institutions, and then we're looking for, some follow through after that. Even position traders, only trading a few times, maybe a month or a year, doesn't matter. They, still understanding the order flow can really optimize your trading. Okay, so let's take a look here at how to connect Bookmap. There's 3 different markets: futures, equities, and digital currencies. Okay, the digital currency data is free, so you can connect directly for free. And we'll go over the free version in just a minute of Bookmap. But for equities and for futures, you will need to provide the data. Okay, we're not a data provider. We're not a broker. We are software. We're a platform. Okay, so you will need to connect and provide that data. So for equities, for example, you first need to subscribe to Bookmap, and then you will need to subscribe to DXFeed. Okay, that's the method here. Now, for futures, you have a variety of options. You can connect to Rhythmic, CQG, Gain Capital, Transact, IQ Feed, Nanotick, and Cedro. Right? You can also connect via the API of 3 different platforms here. So you can go that route as well. So Interactive Brokers, Ninja 7 and 8, and TT Xtrader Pro. Good morning, Marvino. All right, so for those of you who came in a little bit late, here's the link again to the advanced webinar. Okay, and let's continue on here and go through the pricing. Okay, how you subscribe to Bookmap. You can purchase monthly and subscribe, or yearly and get a 20% discount. The prices are reflected here when you click on the link, or you can buy it for lifetime here. Okay, and let's go through the different versions that are available, and we'll go through the monthly option. The digital version, as I mentioned, is free. This allows you to connect to one digital currency. This is great because that market is always open, the data is free, and it's very highly algorithmically dominated. So you can really see a lot of cool stuff in there. Now, if you're not a digital currency trader, well, that's fine. For equities and for you get a delayed equity feed, so you can check that out. You can also replay a downloaded file in this free version. For futures. Okay, so if you want to just see some of the basic functionality. Else, I would recommend going with 1 month with the global for 49 bucks. Okay, connect up your data, check it out. You can cancel immediately after you purchase here or subscribe for the month, and you'll still get it for the month. Okay, now that's the global version. The global plus version it includes all our add-on indicators. Okay, proprietary indicators we put together. Right, so large lot tracker, iceberg detector, imbalance indicators. These are very specific order flow phenomena that we can visualize. Okay, for example, understanding where there might be larger players using iceberg orders. Okay, it's good insight to understand what's going on with those larger players. That's what you get with the Global Plus version here. All right, let's go through a few resources and then we'll look at the live market. Okay, so we went through the Twitter feed already. Let's go over to our YouTube channel. Right, there's all sorts of videos here. We referred to them the other day as well in the advanced webinar. With the Pro Trader webinars here, it was with Lewis here. He's a fund manager, so you might want to watch that. It's really interesting the way that he's looking at the markets, and he's a veteran. Okay, so all of these guys are right. So they're all excellent. JTrader, fantastic. Looking at equities here for him. Then there's another one here for equities for you guys. Hammer Trader over here. Okay, and the rest are futures and yeah, I think just futures and some equities as well. All right. Okay, if you're new, watch some of the intro videos here. Okay, order flow video or order flow education videos here. I think you'll find these very helpful. This is just like that example we just went through, understanding this breakout to the upside here. This is what we go through in these videos here. Okay, very short videos that go through that basic education. Okay, and a lot of advanced concepts as well. Okay, a lot of features and components as well. If you have any questions about Bookmap, you might want to watch some of these. Just click on the playlist here. That'll take you to the, well, let's just do it. That'll take you to a list of all sorts of features and functionality here. Okay, so for example, all the columns, if you have if you have questions about the columns, all the information is here. Okay. All right, and then there's some selected webinars if you want to watch some of those. All right, let's jump into the S&P and see what's going on here in our breakout. Let's see, another question. Okay, yeah, Marvino, you trade individual stocks, sure. I would recommend, the more data, the better for the stocks. I would recommend the combo package of getting both NASDAQ total view and last sale and EDGX and BATS together. Okay, I know it's $119 a month, but for that first month you'll get it for $59. Okay, so you do get that advantage there. Yeah, the more data, the better there, and it's just going to give you more insight. Okay, all right. All right, let's jump in here. All right, and let's start to define the elements on the chart. Okay, so you guys understand what you're looking at, and we can maybe what I was speaking about earlier in this breakout and what's going on in the order flow here was rather foreign to you. Okay, so let's define the elements so it's not. First, we'll take off our VWAP, our iceberg detector. We're just going to look at the basic elements here. We're also going to take off our point of control. This is a blue line down here is the point of control. Okay, a mean reversion trade is setting up pretty nicely, in fact. So let's see if those sellers can come in, and let's see if these guys pull their liquidity around this 45 area here. Okay, and then looking for that mean reversion maybe down below the swing here, around 1030. I don't know. We'll see. Let's also close up our subchart here for cumulative volume delta. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's define these elements. What is this? Looks like probably no other chart you've seen before. That's fine. It's very simple data, and we're going to strip off the volume, the best bid and offer, and the heat map. You can see that when we strip off those three elements, that's it. That's all you're getting here. But the way we visualize this is it leads to a lot of insight. Okay, and we're going to compare it to a candlestick chart. Okay, and then we're going to add these three elements on one at a time. Okay, and we're going to note some of the problems with traditional charting and why you get an advantage using Bookmap. Okay, so for example, looking at the candlestick chart, well, there's a big problem here. It's aggregated data within a period. Okay, you might be looking at some other kind of bar. It doesn't matter. It might be volume bars. It could be range bars. It really doesn't matter. Point and figure. But the problem with it is it's aggregated data within a period. Okay, some sort of condition within a period. So all of the data is locked within that period. So for example, in this 5-minute period here, we're only getting 4 data points: open, high, low, and close. And that's a problem here because what happened in it? We don't know. We don't know where the volume traded. We don't know how much, where, when. So that's really important information. Okay, we don't know where they're bidding, where they're offering. To understand all of that information gives you really good insight. And we're completely closed off to it. It's completely opaque. Okay, so the first element we're going to show in Bookmap and the way we display the price action is with just best bid and offer. Okay, now we can see really what occurred here. There's no period. Okay, so we're just looking at best bid and offer going back and forth. Okay, so this allows us to see all sorts of things. Like look at this area of consolidation here, okay, and then look at this breakout here, right? So now this is still, we're not really getting too much information. We're just seeing structure here, okay, and structure that you might not be seeing in a candlestick chart. Here it's not so bad. We're actually seeing you know, this area of consolidation in the candlestick looks pretty good. It's just going back and forth within a range here. But this breakout here and this candlestick here, we have this kind of doji or star or whatever it is. You know, what kind of insight is it giving us here? Well, maybe that you know, you're looking to go short here. Okay, that when it explored this area, it came back down and it closed down here. Okay, well that looks kind of bearish, right, in a candlestick pattern. But look what happened, right? Look at the move to the upside. Okay, so reading this candlestick it's just really not giving you any information here about with this candle here as a signal, and this is a signal. It rejected these areas up here and came back and closed down here. It just happened to do that within that 5-minute period. Okay, but without not looking at the candle, we get so much more information. So let's just put the second element on the Bookmap chart. Okay, it's the volume dots. Okay, and now we're seeing a lot more information of what's going on here. Okay, we see a cluster of buy volume up here. We see a cluster of sell volume down here. So it's really kind of going back and forth at the moment. But look where the buyers started to really pick it up, right? And we break the swing high here, and we break it on size. Okay, so we know that looks like buyers are in control here. Okay, and we have the confirmation with the follow through to the upside here. All right, so now we know precisely what happened within these 5-minute periods. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay. And let me zoom in quite a bit, and I just want to show you how simple and straightforward this data really is. Okay. This red line here is just the best offer. The green line is the best bid. Okay, that's it. It's just going back and forth here. Now, the volume dots are transactions that took place on that best bid and offer. Okay, that's all it is. So these green dots here, well, these are aggressive market buy orders. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so if someone hits the market buy button, well, they're crossing the spread, they're paying up the spread, and they're taking liquidity off of the best ask. Okay, and this dot paints here. Okay, that's all that's occurring here. The red dot is an aggressive market sell that's taking liquidity off of the best bid. Now, this is a good example because look at this, some of these big dots here, it's both buying and selling. Okay, well, what's occurring there? I mean, we can use this data tip tool and we can hover over these dots and get exactly the precise volume here. Okay, with a very precise timestamp as well. Right, so there's both buying and selling here. It just happens so quickly that we're giving you the overall shape and delta of that volume. So about 3/4 of that is aggressive buying. So let's zoom into this area. As I zoom in, we really pull apart every single transaction. And this is really what occurred. And let's continue to zoom in here, okay? Because we're gonna see trades within trades. And looks like there's actually not too many trades within that, but you can get the idea here. When we start to zoom in, we are expanding that timeline and seeing every single market event. Okay, so we can see that there's trades within trades. It really breaks down, and we can see every single event. Okay, so this is for a volume of 3, so I know these are each for volume of 1. Okay, this is our volume column here for this chart range. All right, so that's really what occurred. And we zoom out, though, we really still can retain all of that information and give you the overall shape of what happened here. Okay, so that's the way we're displaying the volume and the price action. Okay, this allows you to start to see structure. Okay, areas of consolidation, areas of breakout, areas of acceptance, trending markets, etc. Right, so this is information that is much more valuable than looking at some sort of period of price action. All right, so that's the 2 elements on the Bookmap chart, and let's go over the third, and that's the heat map. And the heat map is where everyone gets a little bit lost here because they've never really accessed this kind of data or information before. Okay, it looks like it's very complex here. Let's take the candles. Let's leave the candles on for one more example here. It's showing where they're bidding and offering. That's all it's doing. Okay, let's zoom into the current market to define that, because this is a recording of your DOM, your depth of market. Okay, so this vertical white line here separates the historical market to the left and the current market here to the right. This is the best bid and offer right here. Okay, currently. This number is last traded volume. Here's our price ladder. Okay? And then the COB column, it stands for current order book. This is your DOM. Okay, these numeric values up here, these are contracts. This is where they want to sell with limit orders here on the offer. And this is down here where they want to buy. This is the auction. Right? Now, all we're doing is taking these numerical values here and transforming them into a heat map. Okay? So areas of large liquidity, are painted up at 2750 the figure. Not by surprise, we see quite a few contracts up here. It's the highest in the book by far. Okay, 628. And it's painted this kind of orange-red color. Scale of the heat maps up here. Okay, orange-red, highest liquidity, then yellow, then white, blue, and then black as the lowest amount of liquidity. Okay, so we can start to gauge and understand the liquidity here very quickly by not looking at the numerical values, but by the heat map. When the numbers change here, the heat map changes as well. Okay, the very interesting, insightful part is we record it and plot it on the chart. That's all we're doing here. Okay, in the heat map. So this allows you now to start to understand these areas and how they're behaving. Did they transact? Look at the, we'll zoom in here and see if this area here transacted, or did they pull that liquidity? What's the behavior here? See how they're starting to pull and add a little bit lower now? Okay, so let's see if we were looking at that breakout here, and then we're thinking, well, let's see if it's sustained or if these guys, they were bidding up in these areas here. Now they're starting to pull a little bit. Okay, so we might go down below that area here. I mean, they're still in the book right now, so they're still supporting this breakout. All right, but that's something we want to keep an eye on. All of that information of where they're bidding and offering here is just not available on your traditional charting platform. Okay, so you can really see the details here. Okay, and let's zoom in and let's define some of those details. Okay, so for example, this area of high liquidity, see how the bulls here, the aggressors, they bought up into these areas. Okay, and let's zoom into this area here because there's pretty high liquidity here. Okay, there was how many contracts here? Okay, there's 508 contracts here. And then look at the transactions taking place right into that area. There's nothing but buying here. There's not one sell. 514 actually trade. Okay, this is fact. Okay, this is insightful information. We know these guys are short here. Okay, and it's most likely larger players. Okay, they've been waiting in the book. See, this is where we can start to understand. These transactions took place. This is real liquidity. Okay, and we gain a lot of insight from that because they were larger players. They've been in the book for quite a while. And let's zoom out. We'll continue to zoom out. And let's take our candlestick off by now. Okay. Yeah, so at 9:30, we can already see that at 9:30 a.m., they were in the book already waiting to be sellers up here. Okay. So they're short. Okay, what about other areas? Okay, let's just take a look here. Yeah, it looks like this liquidity stays in the book as well. Okay, how many contracts do we have here? 300, and some of it pulled over here. You can see how the best ask went up into this area here of high liquidity, and then they started to pull it, and then they not a whole lot was pulled here. 353 contracts pulled down to 331, and then 380 actually traded here. Okay, you can see them even more traded in this area here. Okay, so looking for them to sweep this book higher. Okay, and continue the bullish run here. Okay, but we're starting to note now, these are areas of larger players with limit orders, and they didn't absorb all of the buying pressure, but they're starting to. Okay, so if that's the case, we're probably going to find at a certain point a lack of buyers because they're just going to exhaust out, right? And we can kind of see that behavior up here. In fact, okay? Let's see, did they stay in the book here? Not really. They kind of pulled, but where are the buyers? Okay, well, they're kind of going back and forth here, but look at these little areas up here. Where are the buyers? We don't see them, right? Usually in an uptrend, we have more buying at higher highs, okay? Starting to exhaust out, looking for sellers to come in. Okay? Very simple analysis, looking for these sellers to hit the bid and start to search for liquidity on the bid, high liquidity. And they found it here. Okay? They trade right into this area here. And these guys start to pull as well. So this can go lower, right? And it has. Okay? So because they're pulling, they're not absorbing that selling pressure. So they're searching for more liquidity to the downside. So we're right back to our scenario that we were even starting to not anticipate, but it was a possible scenario to come back down into this area here where we broke from at this 44 area. Okay, so we're testing it right now. All right. So anyway, those are the three elements on the Bookmap chart. That's a little bit of how to read it. If you have more interest in this, then come to the advanced webinar. It will start in just a minute. I just put the link again into the chat. Register there, and we'll see you over there. Okay. All right, guys. Bye-bye.